Well, welcome to another episode of Get Real. I'm your host, Tom Lemons, here with Landon Lafferty of Tri-Peak Roofing, the best roofer in Hernando County, actually probably in more than just Hernando, across the state. He does work all over the place, and he's also one of our great sponsors. And we're going to talk about something today that has affected his business and several smaller local businesses with doing business with the county. So I'm going to let Landon talk about that with us. But so Landon, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Tom?
Doing fantastic. So go ahead and just kind of tell us a little bit about what the process was, what you went through recently. Tell us a little bit about that story.
Yeah, well, so we got a call from the county, the administrator that runs the airport, Hernando County Airport. And we were asked to bid one of their steel buildings out there, a basic roof, nothing crazy, nothing major, didn't have any equipment in it. There were no airplanes, just a steel building. Mm-hmm. So we went out there and we looked at the job and met the guy 2 or 3 times. Went out and bid it. I think it was $23,000. Submitted the bid. They gave us the 1 through 10 series of what we needed to do with our insurance. Submitted it all. They approved it. They signed it. They said, "Okay, we got the job. Just submit this, this, and this." We submit our insurance in. Got kicked back. They said, "Nope. You need this, this, and this," and I'll get all that information for you and tell you exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. Come to find out, the insurance that Hernando County is asking for is damn near the same insurance that you need to build skyscrapers.
Really?
And that's the problem. Little small town businesses can't afford that.
Wow.
So it ends up falling in Manhattan, Blue Sky, these big contractors out of Chicago, New York, Illinois, these downtown Tampa. I mean, everybody knows Manhattan. They've worked through the whole entire county. And what happens is we don't lose it because of our bid. We lose it because the regulations that they want for the insurance, we can't afford it. So I work with the Walmart distribution center down in Hernando County, and they have the same kind of insurance, but what they do is they pay for it.
Okay.
So
the company
game's
pays the
open
insurance
for everybody, because
Wow.
who wants Manhattan working on every job?
Wow, that seems like a fair process.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And you get the insurance for a year. So first off, the bill was $23,000. We lost it because we couldn't pay I think it was $40,000 to get the policy reinstated to give the county vehicles, general liability, workman's comp. We had to get the most of everything. The insurance was more than the job. So what if we were going to get, we don't know if we're going to get another job from the county. We were told that it's hell trying to get work from the county.
So does that seems like, not to stop you in the middle of that, but it seems like it's not, local businesses have no chance of getting jobs.
No, not at all. Not Rivieras, wow. Tri-Peak, any roofers, any plumbing company, all these hometown Brooksville companies that have been here for 20, 30 years. None. I bet you could talk to the owners. None of them work for the county. I bet you they've tried. But this just happened within 4 to 5 months ago. We just had this happen. And I went to a couple commissioners about it, and they didn't do nothing about it. What I think's going on is they're so used to just eyeing it. I never nay.
Yeah.
And they're overpaying is what's happening.
Okay.
I bet if they were to do this Doge thing and break down all their construction and air conditionings, roofing, plumbing, electrical jobs they get throughout the county, I bet they would really see that they're losing their ass.
Wow. And that just adds to it just adds to taxes, right? I mean, why do you think homeowners are paying more? Why do you think that, the budget keeps rising to these limits of almost $1 billion now?
No, it's ridiculous.
And that's because of what you're saying. It's like regulations. It's like we're only going with the highest bidder instead of, working with local companies who will charge quite a bit less.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were $23,000. The other company was at $50,000.
Man.
For the same roof. It was a PBR metal roof up and over. I think the metal was $10,000. Tri-County, delivered on site. We take it off, reinstall, it's done.
How long would something like that take?
1 day.
1 day.
Yeah.
And between the 20 to 50,000 is the difference.
We battled with the BOCC for 2.5 months with the stupid paperwork trail. They got to de-escalate a lot of this thing. Deregulate. Sorry, not de-escalate. They need to deregulate. First off, I don't even think these guys have looked into this. So the county commissioners, I think it's just been in place so long. They don't even know what they're voting on.
And I was going to ask that. Do you think this is
No.
something they're not complicit in something nefarious? It's just something that's probably been the process decade after
They've
decade,
got so
right?
much different things going on. They just vote it through when they get
Right.
those bills and Steve and all them. And
Right.
I think Steve's going to do everything he can to change it.
Right. Well, now that
He's seeing
Steve
it
and
now,
that
you know?
Steve and Ryan have, thanks to Ryan Amsler, Commissioner Ryan Amsler, for pushing this new Doge committee through. And just so the audience knows, they've have decided on through a lottery the 9 volunteers who will be reviewing the budgets. And hopefully they can discover some things, at least get rid of waste and things like this. Hopefully this is going to be, they're going to find out, oh my gosh, we have been paying twice as much or 3 times as much for jobs that we could have been given to the local community, where the money goes back into the community when they buy it.
Well, they got a company from Chicago bidding on their stuff. That's insane.
That's insane. Why not leave it local?
They should give it to all the local roofers, the local plumbing companies, Charlie's Plumbing. And
yeah.
keep them going.
Well,
and we would save them millions. I'm talking millions.
Millions. And
They're doing
this is
that
not a
much
joke.
work.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is no joke.
I do air conditioning as well, and I'm sure they're getting quoted $100,000 for an AC unit that only costs $25,000-$30,000. Rooftop units is mostly, I'm sure, what they have. Craning them up, craning them down. Big 30-ton units that cost maybe, let's say, $20,000 for the equipment. Takes 5 hours to install.
Okay, so the only thing I can think of, like you said, this is something that's gone on so long that no one really thought to look into.
That's
or
exactly
cared to look
what I'm believing it
But
is.
why wouldn't they look into it sooner? Any of the I'm not talking about the current commissioners. Could have been the last round of commissioners that were there. Why? It almost makes you think. I don't want to accuse anybody of anything, but is there a possibility of some kickbacks coming back from some of these companies?
Yeah, so maybe back in the back time when they started this, maybe like Manhattan was kicking back one of the commissioners that got him in.
Right.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
I'll show you how to go. Here's the ropes. Call this person. Here's what you got to do. You get me the work, I'll kick you back.
Wow. And that may have been what happened. Some of the old, maybe
And
the
it
other
just doesn't make
commissioners.
sense. Like, if you're a homeowner,
Yeah.
you get 3 quotes. You're not always going to go with the smallest one.
No.
But what the county's got going on is they're getting their 3 quotes, and they're going with the highest quote every time. Doesn't make sense.
And that's what Steve has said in the last couple of
They're
meetings.
literally going with the highest quote every time.
That's ridiculous. And this all goes back to what I said in several of my my podcasts, but is that the community really does not stay in touch with what's going on with their local government because they don't go to the meetings, they don't watch it on live streaming, they don't know what's being approved. Sign, this and that and this and that.
They sure complain when the taxes go up.
That's right. They complain then, don't they? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, stop raising our taxes. But
What John Alaka just raised, the impact fees. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm decent friends with John, and I called him and I said, hey, man, what's going on there? And he said, well, he gave me the rundown, and he told me that it's got to happen. I don't think it has to happen, but
no, there's no reason. I mean,
no,
I
because
can't
what
see a reason
happens
for
is,
that.
and maybe John and the guys there have studied it, and they see that in the future, if they don't raise it, they're going to have delinquency in some areas. I don't know, but I do know that if they start giving their work to the local businesses, it's going to cut enough money to not have to raise impact fees, to not have to raise the millage rate.
Right.
You could probably lower the millage rate.
Oh, they could. And that's what
Lower the impact fees. This isn't about widening government.
That's right.
That's right. Let's make the government smaller.
Well, recently Governor DeSantis and along with Senator Blasingoli had talked about and hinted at doing away with taxes altogether. These property taxes, and it sounds, maybe it sounds crazy to some people, but I think there are alternatives to revenue that could keep government running.
Yeah, there is. I mean, now you have the damn sheriff is. I don't know if you know, but if you have a dog, you have to have a license and you have to pay for it. If you don't have a license in Hernando County, you get fined.
For every dog,
Yeah,
a cat
happened
too?
to me.
Cats
On
and
June
dogs.
2nd, I have to go see the special master.
Is that a new thing?
Apparently, hey, guess what? You know who can stop that? Our 5 county commissioners.
Right. You know what though, Landon? now that the sheriff has taken over control of animal control, animal shelter,
they can't do nothing about it.
BOCC has nothing. They can't do a thing about it. I don't think they don't control it. All they do is approve his budget. He gets to do anything he wants to do with his money, and he can make his own rules. If the rule that he has with
so he can
animal
make
control,
his own money within his own organization.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, he can do with it. He doesn't. And I know we're going on a different subject here, but the other thing that people have asked me a lot of my followers have asked is Doge going to be looking into the sheriff's office budget? And I said no, they are not, because they don't have a legal right to do it at this point. It would have to be up to the sheriff to say yes, you can.
He's not going to allow
but
that.
He's not.
Why would he?
You know what?
Because they're going to come in there and cut.
Yes.
That's what Doge is.
Yes.
Doge is, in my eyes, Doge is a smaller government.
Right. Oh, that's what they're all about. But he doesn't have to. He just tells people. Matter of fact, he told someone recently. He said, "No, if you want any financial information, just do a public records request. We'll give you the things you need." Right. So you got to know what you're looking for. You're not going to be given the entire budget and say, "Here's what I got the money. Here's what I said I was going to do, but I did this instead." And that's really the problem.
Well, the county needs their request from the sheriff's department, everything he uses the money for. Mm-hmm. It's taxpayers' money. We should know what's going on.
Let's take a break. This episode of Get Real is brought to you by Tri-Peak Roofing, your Hernando County roofer. Now, back to what we were talking about. We have, let me summarize this for our viewers. Okay, so, and it pisses me off, and I think it's going to piss a lot of the homeowners off in this county. You have the department heads in across the county, and we can talk about the case that you had where you bid on a job. Your bid was somewhere in the 25,000 range for a roof at the airport, right?
Yeah.
And it came back to it was just given to the highest bidder. Does that make sense? I mean, so we're basically, and what did they charge? 50,000 for the roof? And the second question, and again, our viewers need to know this, it all came down to $1 million in insurance, which you would have had to put out $30,000 to $40,000 for, more than the cost of the job.
We have a contract with Walmart Distribution right off 75 in Hernando County. What they do is we did a $80,000 job. The insurance was like $28,000. We sent them the bill. They gave us the money. We paid for the insurance. We had it for a year. We could have took that insurance and used it with whoever we want. They don't care because they give us multiple jobs. They know that they have a Hernando County, roofing contractor, AC contractor, that's not a big multi-million-dollar company that they can now use, and we've got quite a bit of work from them in Fort Myers. But that insurance, let me just explain.
Okay.
The insurance that Walmart gives us isn't even enough for the Hernando County. We had it.
It's lower than what Hernando County requires.
Yes. And that's Walmart. That is the distribution centers. And if you've ever been to a distribution center, they're miles long. I think it's a mile of roof. So it just doesn't make sense. Either there's some idiots running, but what it is the department heads, I believe, have to be getting skin in the game.
So that's,
the
that's
department heads.
Yeah. That's
When
a strong allegation,
heads,
but you know what? It does make sense. It could be a possibility.
Why would they pick a higher contract? I mean, Hernando County could have paid my insurance bill, and it still would have been cheaper than the person that they went with for that roof.
Wow.
This doesn't make sense. Either there's just people that they're just voting, push it through, and get to the next segment of their meeting, or the department heads are just blowing smoke up their ass.
This is unbelievable. This is such a revelation. I don't know that
it's real.
I can't believe that this. I can't believe this has not come up before. I mean, this has been probably, like you said, going on for years and years, and I hope that what you're saying, that there's kickbacks going on for these department heads. I hope that's not true.
You never know,
but
man. What has
how
to
would
happen
you know?
to find that is you got to watch it. You have to see it.
Yeah.
Like if you're physically not there when Manhattan gets the job from the Parks and Rec, the head of Parks and Rec goes home, the owner of Manhattan comes over, gives him a check for $50,000. Nobody's ever going to know.
No one's going to know,
that money,
and you can't request that information.
No, and that money's personal, and it gets hidden, and you just can't find it, man.
Well, they could just give him a bag of money too, and that's really untraceable.
At the end of the day, the commissioners have to open their eyes and start seeing what the hell's going on.
Right. And I don't want to put blame on any one commissioner.
I'm not blaming any of them.
Right. It just seems like, to me...
But they hold the keys to this county.
They sure do.
So without their vote, man, without them passing anything, I mean...
They sure do.
I'm going to go to the BOCC meeting tomorrow and explain to them what I've encountered in their county. And if they do something about it, I believe that Steve and the other fella, Amsler, is going to do something about it. Hopefully they all do. Hopefully they all come together and notice that this is an issue. This is going to save them millions. All they got to do is cast a vote.
And save the taxpayer millions.
Single vote, and they need to deregulate what the county requires for insurance. Listen, I have to give $1 million liability no matter where I go.
Yeah.
Not for vehicles. That's insane. I don't have no vehicle that's worth $1 million.
It's an unreasonable request. It really is. It's
and I don't even know why they would want that.
Because you know why? If you think about it, again, I'm making an accusation here. They have that requirement so that company always gets it.
Well, maybe there you go, yeah.
You know? Always
But why
gets
do
it.
they want that company to always get it?
Ooh, Kickbacks.
From Chicago.
It's so shady.
I don't see the county commissioners getting kickbacks.
I don't see that either.
The department heads getting kickbacks, because I think what happens is the department heads go out, find the contractors. They have a laundry list, a Rolodex, of contractors that they use. They call them the county contractors.
Right.
And then it's the county commissioner's job to just pass the vote. They go to the meeting, grant the money to them. And like I said, the commissioners they've got so much on their agenda, man. They're just passing it.
Well, and regarding the job that you were that you had to decline, that you didn't win, Steve Miller, who is the airport administrator, I'm gonna contact him this week, and I'm gonna find out what is, are they going to go with that higher bidder no matter what anyways? Or do they have to?
No, he'll tell you.
Or is he just going to get,
just
throwing a few other bids to pretend like we're getting, and I'm not want to attack Steve yet because I don't know him, never talked to him, and I don't know his position on this issue yet. So I will talk to him, but it makes me think, whoa, somebody could just say, let's throw a few other, fake bids in here.
I know a company who does that.
You do?
RO Property Management. I'll tell you what they do.
Okay.
I work with Palmwood. I do a lot of their stuff, their commercial stuff. Me and Al are good friends.
Okay.
Mr. Isnetto, you see his signs everywhere. Call Al Isnetto if you want to rent. I actually rent this place from him. He's great.
Uh-huh.
And he hooked me up with RO Properties, Access Healthcare. Heard of Access Healthcare?
Yes.
Okay. Access Healthcare is owned by a doctor. Very nice guy.
Yeah.
That doctor has no idea what the hell's going on. As considered, the BOCC county commissioners have no idea what the hell's going on. That doctor is equivalent to Steve and the commissioners and all them. So under that doctor, you have his heads of department heads, because that doctor owns all those buildings, man. They own 2 million square foot of properties, which means they've got all the roofs, ACs, they own this place we're in now.
Is that across Florida, or is that just
Access Healthcare? Is wherever it's at?
Everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's
they
everywhere.
own these big
Okay.
buildings. They just bought the one off 19 by the Cody's Roadhouse. They made that a big doctor's office. You go in there, it's got everything you could think of. And they have these department heads. And what happens is, I know the guy personal, he uses Quality Roofing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was told to get 3 quotes. He used me for a while. I got sick of him using me.
Really?
I was giving him the quote. He never picked me.
Oh, he never chose you.
Why the hell am I not
Just
getting
being
chose?
used.
So I got with my buddy, and I found out that he's just using Quality Roofing every time. It's the same thing the department heads are doing. It's not the doctor. Dr. Singh, that's his name.
Singh, that's it. Yeah.
So Dr. Singh
So he does the same thing.
don't even know what's going on. County commissioners have no idea what the hell's going on. The only way they find out what's going on is if us go to them. Singh's not going to believe me. He's going to believe his department heads.
Right. So Singh's not responsible. You're not blaming Singh. It's his department heads.
So are the commissioners going to believe what I have to say? I have no idea. Maybe I go around and get Barrett Rivera and me and Foster's Roofing and all these people together, and we go in there and go, hey, have you ever bid to the county? Oh, I've bid to the county. Why didn't you get the job? Because of regulations. All right, you're in. Let's go tell the BOCC meeting, and let's go explain to them that you lost it the same reason I did.
This is a huge
and the
issue.
same company gets it.
Yeah, the same company get over and
It's
over.
the department heads who need to be investigated.
Man, this is insane.
Not the commissioners.
You know, wow. It has not been
Listen, they
soon
got
enough that they brought this Doge
blankets.
right into here. Yeah.
Blankets.
Wait.
Vote aye.
Yeah, right.
Aye.
Yeah, exactly. Blinders, right? Yeah. No, they have got to. I tell you what. Thanks to Steve Champion, thanks to Ryan Amsler for pushing this movement of trying to find out what's going on in this county.
God bless them, man.
Yes, because without some voices like that, I wouldn't even have thought about this. You probably wouldn't have thought about it. Well, you would if you're a business owner.
I lost a job. I told Steve about it a while ago, but Steve's got a million things going on. So now he remembered. I told him, he reached out to me and said, hey, you know, I want you to come explain yourself, what you went through. So.
That is, and you know what? Hey, it's probably not just Hernando County. It's probably across the state or the country.
I mean, if every county sees what's going on and they end up deregulating it, it's not happening. But I'm sure, I mean, that Manhattan construction company, that's one company I see it in every county working. They do every school board. You know how much money the school board loses? The air conditionings that are getting approved to put on these schools, I could do for 60% cheaper than what they're getting charged.
Do you see? You just brought up a point
and
that's
I
just
have
unbelievable.
CMC license.
Okay,
it's better than a CAC. CAC is a air conditioning contractor air conditioning license. I have something called a mechanical license. Okay. I can work in hospitals. I don't utilize it. I don't work in the hospitals. And but
it's a better license.
Yeah, it's like the Mac Daddy of the air conditionings. So they got something called rooftop units. They're called downflow systems in these schools, and they're about 20 to 30,000 for the equipment, right? Let's just say you have a 30-ton or 20-ton AC unit that's on Moton Elementary.
Huh?
They're getting quoted $150,000 for that one unit.
Oh my!
I'm quoting 50 to 80, depending on what 3-phase is it. 220 legs, just depends, and that's the same scenario.
Landon,
we'll get the work. If I had the chance to bid on all this work, they're gonna approve my stuff, give it to me.
Yeah.
But when it comes to showing them the insurance, I lose it every time.
So let me ask you this, because
they only give you a certain time frame, and then they kick you out.
You don't get like
that's
months,
what happened.
Right?
We got kicked out. We couldn't get the insurance quick enough. We couldn't afford it, man.
But Lanny, you just brought up a whole other issue. I mean, you have these different departments. You know, these
it's
different.
All about the departments.
Oh
man.
yeah, and it's these different slices of the pie, right?
I think the school board's the biggest scam.
The school board, and what did they get? What have they had for the last however many years? It's now the 1 cent sales tax for the schools.
I don't know.
Right?
But it's,
they passed a 1 cent sales tax
Listen,
years ago.
Scam, man.
Well,
these kids are eating prison food. I didn't want to get on it.
Well, hopefully the MAHA, the Make America Healthy Again, is going to change all that.
Is it going to change Moton and Hernando Christian Academy and all that?
No. I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you, this is what you just opened my eyes up to and didn't even think about it. Is they passed this 1 cent sales tax years ago, probably I think it was about 8 years ago, and it was all so they could replace air conditioning units in schools, make major repairs in the schools, different things like that. And guess what? Did we ever think to check to see who they were requesting for bids? You know,
Manhattan, I bet.
You're right.
I'm gonna pull up before we're done. I'm gonna have Miss Amanda pull up the because I know Brooks Elementary just had a remake. Manhattan did the work.
Unbelievable.
I could put a new TPO roof, glue down, peel and stick, and all brand new ACs in Brooks Elementary for under $1 million.
Unbelievable.
I know I could.
Yeah.
I've seen the building.
But they're going to pay twice as much because it's got to be Manhattan.
$5 million.
Yeah. And
Manhattan just did the makeover on the courthouse.
Somebody's getting some kickbacks because why do you have to do that?
And I get it. Like, you want to use Manhattan for, like, the courthouse.
Yeah.
Did you see what they just did at the courthouse?
Yeah.
Listen, use Manhattan for that. I got you.
Not every time, though, with every single department.
These little roofs are doing, and they're just getting, man. I mean, they're wanting to build fire stations for $9 million.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
$9 million.
No. Listen.
Let me build one. I got a GC license.
There you go. You know, and that brings me back to the point is why not bring...
I have a mechanical license, too, to do all the plumbing and the firework and all the piping. The big red pipe that you're seeing, that's what the mechanical license is for.
Why won't
they... And I got the same license Manhattan has.
As Manhattan does. Same licenses. Wow.
I don't know.
Why won't
I'm
they?
nobody.
Don't they? Listen, we have a red county here, and a red county is
we
usually
got-
about low taxes, small government, less regulations. What's going on here? This is one
You
of those
got-
things we just
The problem, some of the red guys are not red.
right. Oh yeah, we figured that out a while ago. Yeah,
That's what you don't have a red county.
I
You
don't
got
have to.
a
I don't have to go into
purple
that.
county.
Yeah, right. Purple with R's next to their name. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into it with them. I've done that a million times on my shows. But yeah, you know who you are when I bring that up. Yeah. But Landon, this is disturbing, and the county needed to hear this. This is gonna spark a lot of interest and a lot of angry people. And again, you said you're going to go to the BOCC. These shows are pre-recorded, by the way, so people know that. You're going to be going to the BOCC meeting tomorrow, and I will probably be there. We are going to, listen to what they have to say, because you're going to stand up and talk about it.
Yeah, I'm just going to give them my site.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell them 100% facts of what Landon went through with their rigged system that they have set in place. And I'm telling you, the commissioners have no idea what's going on.
Right.
It's been in place for so long. Landon Lafferty. So I'm the owner of Tri-Peak Roof, and I brought one of my colleagues with me today that works with me, and we're going to basically explain what happened to us when we got a job from the county. We got it approved, and we just can't. You can't afford that kind of insurance, and we do jobs for the state, and they don't even require this. So he's going to explain exactly what happened. Go ahead, Cliff.
Cliff Sykes, Tri-Peak Roofing, and the document that you're viewing now is just the overall county requirements to meet the minimum requirements to bid on a job for insurance liability. We went through the whole process for the Hernando County Airport with doing a project for them. And when we got to the very last hurdle, so to speak, we were presented with this document, and we couldn't meet the requirements because we did not have the highlighted issues for small business. That's to get those insurances would cost us more than the job was bid on. So we just asked that this be evaluated and to try to help out small businesses keep our work and our pride, moving forward in the Hernando County area.
We've got a few seconds. Can you talk about the bid and what happened?
You guys are given the jobs to out-of-state people, correct? Okay, that's where a lot of this stuff's going. And there's going to be no way that any small business in Hernando, Brooksville can ever get any kind of work when you have to pay for stuff like this. You're talking $30,000, $40,000 just to get this insurance. Okay, now we also work with Walmart Distribution right off 75. And what they do is they will pay for the insurance so we can work on their site. Again, I did say we've done work for the state of Florida, and all they require is $1 million general liability. What they're wanting is $1 million in coverage per vehicle, per person. That's insane. So what I'm asking you guys, if you guys could look at this, maybe vote and deregulate that, because that's just too expensive. The state of Florida doesn't even require this to do state jobs for the forestry. We work for the forestry. We don't have to give this stuff. So if I'm just asking if you guys could all get together and maybe do a vote on understanding that you don't need that much insurance to work on your guys' county buildings.
All right. So here is the actual quote process that we went through. These are emails. I can set them there if you like. Just awarding us the contract that you see in front of you. This is the ACH vendor process that they wanted us to get signed up for. And then actually when we got to the last and final email for the certificate of insurance, this was all presented. And what lost us the contract, as you see, it wasn't a large amount of money. It started off a new metal roof that they shot down. The building, it had some age on it. So what actually took this was the $1 million coverage that we were not able to provide that allowed us to lose the contract.
I did interview Commissioner Ryan Amsler a few weeks ago, and when I asked him the question, I said, is this a local issue or not? And he said, yes, this is a local issue that could be solved locally, right? So we're going to get to the bottom of this, and hopefully we don't find anything disturbing. Hopefully this is just an oversight, right? And it's not something nefarious. I hope that is the case. I think everybody hopes that, but we'll see what happens. But I do want to thank you, Landon Lafferty, Tri-Peak Roofing, for coming on the show again tonight. And we are going to bring him back again real soon because we're going to talk about a very interesting subject that he is very passionate about. And I'm just going to give you a little hint. No, I'm not going to give you a hint. Take that back. Forget about it. But it's very interesting. You guys are going to love it. So we'll bring it back probably next week, and we'll talk about that. But it's something completely outside of politics and outside of roofing. But thank you again, Landon, for showing up tonight.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And that's it for us here on Get Real. We'll be back next week.